So I have already proven what their plan is to reignite Saturn via its eye, which I believe is the entrance to the bottomless pit spoken of in Revelation. This is where I believe God keeps his prisoners, the sons of perdition, the ones who rebelled with Lucifer and were cast out into the ground. And I have reason to believe that Lucifer himself was cast out into our own earth, just like in that Tomb Raider clip that I showed previously, that they have to unite both eyes to be able to release them all. This is why everything has been pointing to this one date, 9/23. They only get one shot at this, so everything has to be meticulously planned and painstakingly carried out. So let's go back to John the Beloved to the Isle of Patmos, where he received this revelation, and let's try to put ourselves in his shoes. How would you describe, as he does, a bottomless pit? I do not believe that he had a high education, or at least received a formal one, and back in his days, their knowledge on science and physics were rather limited. So how would you describe such a thing? I believe what he was trying to describe was in fact what we know now as a black hole. A black hole is almost indescribable. Even our greatest scientists have a hard time with it. The end, the width, the height, the depth, and the misery contained in it is inconceivable. Not even light can escape it. If I were God, this would be the exact place that I would send all those who deserve everlasting punishment, which is endless and eternal. And only those who are partakers in this eternal condemnation would be able to understand its agony, its anguish, and its unending torment. Can you imagine being caught in something like that? It gives me shudders just thinking about it, where it is all pitch black and all you can think about is what you have done to be put here in the first place. Extremely creepy. You do not want to find yourselves in one of these. So the next big question is, could anything actually escape inside a black hole? Well, according to NASA, they witnessed something unexplainable. They were able to observe something coming out of a black hole for the first time. This is pretty incredible observation. So it begs the question, could we be able to release something ourselves from a black hole? We know we have the technology available to create black holes like the LHC, which could mean we are able to manipulate them as well. Maybe when Cassini implodes inside Saturn, that this will give CERN a brief window in time to use the Birkeland current to receive enough energy to exponentially increase their energy output for the LHC, which will be powerful enough to be able to suck the dark angel out of the abyss. It may be a long shot, but hey, anything is possible it seems these days. And if you are still a skeptic about all of this because either you don't believe in the Bible or that you might believe that this is all just a coincidence, CERN itself has reported about a very strange phenomenon that has occurred inside their very own machine, the LHC. In an article that I took from the actual CERN website, LHC Report, Intensity Ramp Up, Familiar Demons by Mike Lamont. Interesting title to say the least. So what does it go on to say? The increase in total beam currents has flushed out two major but familiar issues. The first are the unidentified falling objects, UFOs. Okay, Let's stop right here for a second. What are these UFOs inside their machine? Isn't their machine's purpose to detect even the tiniest size of particles that otherwise we would have never even known to have existed? So how could anything be unidentified? Anyways, continuing on with the report. UFOs, micrometer-sized dust particles falling through the beam and generating localized beam loss. These have been observed as expected and, with the increase in intensity, have caused beam dumps and even magnet quenches at high energy. What this means is that even these tiny dust particles, as they are calling them, are messing up their machine and causing it to fail. Now this is the part of the report that I really want you to pay attention to. Continuing on, and I quote, "A particular worry has the unidentified lying object," and I want to make this clear, this is a ULO and not a UFO, near point 8, which has been associated with particularly big UFOs. Things have been quiet in this region recently, but earlier this week, 2 ramps were lost due to UFOs in the vicinity of the ULO. Hold up, give me a second to process this. So there are apparently UFOs in their machine, what they are calling unidentified falling objects, that are messing it up. But there's a whole other thing that they can identify, which they are calling the unidentified lying object, the ULO. Huh? Are you guys following this yet? Let me break it down for you. Now you have to understand that the LHC works as basically the most powerful vacuum that the world has ever built. Nothing at all should be in those pipes. To make it perfectly clear, there was even an instance where a bird somehow flew into the LHC and dropped a piece of a breadcrumb and it landed inside their machine, which caused it to shut down for a few days. If that is not a sign from God, then I don't know what is. But that's beside the point. They even say certain molecules cannot be in their pipes or they would break down. So how is it possible that these UFOs and this ULO could make it into their machine? And remember, a UFO does not stand for what is commonly referred to as an unidentified flying object. Make no mistake, they have cleverly chosen these crafted words that they wanted to use here. They call a UFO an unidentified falling object and a ULO as an unidentified lying object. So do we remember what or who fell from heaven again? And what is everyone afraid of that CERN might unleash? That's right, the angel of the abyss and his fallen comrades. Could these fallen angels be CERN's unidentified falling objects? And what do they call the father of all lies again? It's Lucifer, or the devil, otherwise known as CERN's unidentified lying object. Do you guys get it? This is just too incredible to believe. But wait, there's even more. General Rolf Heuer, General Director of CERN, says, and I quote, "CERN will open the door from our physical universe to non-physical universes, which will allow human scientists to interact face-to-face with non-physical beings." I don't know how much more I can say when the General Director of CERN openly admits to opening doors to other universes to make contact with non-physical entities. And another quote from Sergio Bertolucci, who is the Director of Research and Scientific Computing at CERN. He said, and I quote, "There are parallel universes and parallel dimensions of non-physical intelligent beings located everywhere around us, and CERN will allow these non-Earth entities to come into our physical world and be with us." Even their freaking slogan that is all over their website is, "Our universe is yours." What do you mean by that, CERN? Our universe is yours? Is whose? What? Is this not the most bizarre thing you have ever heard? And if that isn't strange enough, there have been reports of demonic faces appearing inside the particle beams that CERN has recently released. which would totally make sense considering everything else we have been seeing there happening at CERN. Stranger things, man. Stranger things.
Brothers! Titan! Look at you in your squalid prison! Who put you down there? And now that I set you free, what is the first thing you are going to do? Destroy him! Good answer.